I want to ask you a little bit about your being drafted to play hockey, which is remarkable to me because baseball players, there's not typically that crossover of baseball and hockey. You see oftentimes athletes and baseball with another sport, but you're one of the players that really only comes to mind when I think of MLB draft and then the NHL draft, which happened 5 days later, by the way. So you're drafted for baseball, you get drafted to play hockey. Was it at all a hard decision for you to end up sticking with baseball?
Yeah, a little bit, but not so much in a professional format. It was more, did I want to go to college and go that route versus signing professionally to go play baseball? It was the kind of thing that, looking back at it, and, because people ask me, what kind of baseball player, what kind of hockey player were you? I was a better hockey player at that stage of the game than I was a pitcher. As a pitcher at that stage of the game, I just threw the ball. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I had
Yeah.
a good arm. Like most kids at that stage, right? My changeup in those days was, all right, well, let me try to throw this next pitch harder than I threw the last one. That's how I changed speeds. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
But I had a good arm. But as a hockey player, I was really polished as a hockey player. I was a good hockey player. So that's what it came down to. I mean, my dad had a small construction company up in Boston, and so to have a scholarship was a big deal. To take that burden off his shoulders was a big deal to me, and the decision to forego that didn't come lightly. But I think I sat down. Obviously, with baseball, it's a lot different than hockey. Baseball, they draft you, they want to sign you, particularly a high draft pick. So the Braves came after me right away and tried to get me signed. And ultimately, once they got the money to where, okay, if this doesn't work out, I can go back and I can pay for my own college, and my dad doesn't have to deal with that. Kind of took that burden away. Then I felt like when I went over the pros and cons of both sports, there were a few different things back then. I mean, obviously, back in the middle '80s, hockey players weren't making a lot of money. They are now.
Yeah.
Hockey players weren't playing into their late 30s. They are now. The health side of it was a much bigger positive for baseball. But I think inevitably it came down to I was a left-handed pitcher, and that gave me an advantage in
Yeah.
baseball that I didn't have in hockey. At 6 feet tall and 175 pounds coming out of high school, I was
Yeah.
no different than just about anybody else that got drafted in the NHL. So I figured I better take advantage of this left-handed thing and see how it works out. And it worked out all right.